Hello, Internet. Today I am bringing you a video from my poorly brought headphones and my unpopular hair to give you guys an opinion. This may not be a popular opinion, but I am not a Yankees fan. As a matter of fact, I am a Mets fan. A miserable but happy inside Mets fan. And I've been a Mets fan since 2015 when they went to the World Series. I do remember going to games when I was 11 or 12, but it wasn't until they went to the World Series that I heavily became interested. When they went on that magical World Series run with Wilmer Flores crying, it was a terrible moment that foreshadowed a brutal collapse. There was a lot going on at the trade deadline. Sandy Alderson didn't want to trade for anybody. He was being called out for being cheap, and he had to make a move. And that move he did. He acquired Yoenis Cespedes at the trade deadline, and we all know what happened from there as the Mets went on to lose in the World Series. Now, if you followed the team from 2015 after, it has been miserable, but years of hope that never really came through. 2019 was a little bit close to what we envisioned, but in the end, we could not get anywhere close to the postseason. And after a brutal year in 2020, in which the pandemic overtook the lives of all the citizens, including myself, there was much questions about the future of the New York Mets until one man caved to save it all, and that man is Steve Cohen. Now, I don't know too much about Steve Cohen, but I know he is one of the wealthiest mans out there, and now he is the richest owner in sports, which, as a sports fan, gives you a huge advantage of resources that a lot of other teams might not have. You can have access to better food, better training, better chefs, better analytical departments, better everything. We're seeing that I think the Angels have a machine with Shohei Ohtani that they put stickers on him, and then they can track his movements. The point being, money talks. And money talks no further than Jacob Degrom leaving New York for $185 million. Now, when I first heard about this news, it was actually my birthday, so I wasn't thrilled about him leaving. I saw what the negotiations of the contract were, and I thought they were a little too much because we know even though DeGrom won back-to-back Cy Youngs in 2018 and 2019, he was injured for a large part of 2021 and last season. He did come back and perform, but we saw in a couple of those big games in Oakland and Atlanta, he didn't really come through when we needed him. But that's not to say that we didn't like DeGrom. He never complained when he lost a game. He always blamed it on himself. He never complained about the offense. He always held himself accountable. He even drove runs a couple times in himself, and he was doing things himself that not a lot of players have seen. And he was basically becoming the National League version of Shohei Ohtani. Although Ohtani did have Tommy John, so did Jacob DeGrom, and Ohtani has been proved to be not only healthy the last two seasons, but he can hit and pitch. However, with the National League DH now being implemented, you're not really going to see Jacob DeGrom hitting. But one thing that DeGrom will have to be hitting is those extra stretches. Even though he did have a big injury history in New York, the Texas Rangers gave him a 5 year, $175 million contract. Really hope I got that one right, and it gave him a player option in 6 years. Now, spring training just started the other day, and I'm not sure if you heard, but when you scroll on Twitter and you see this, as a Mets fan, you don't want to see Jacob DeGrom get hurt, but it's just really odd that he gets hurt and then one team has to give him the millions of dollars that although he wants, but he may not like New York in the first place, even though that's all that he talked about when he was in New York. Oh, jeez. I don't know about you, but Jacob DeGrom leaving the Mets is colder than the sniffles I currently have. This man gave everything to be a Met. He may have even given his right arm out for who knows, because he had to get that surgically repaired in 2017 or 18. Now, am I going to go out and wish Jacob DeGrom an injury rate next 5 seasons? Absolutely not. I want to keep things professional, and I know that the Rangers are going to be professional about this situation, which is why the general manager, Chris Young, is going to be precautionary and let DeGrom not pitch for a day or two, which I think is one of the stupidest things that we hear as Mets fans because we know that we've heard this a lot of times, and it could be a day or two with DeGrom, and it turns into a month or two or more. So yeah, I'm a Mets fan who loved DeGrom pitching for New York and saw him pitch throughout the years and win the Cy Young. And now that he is injured, I don't have to worry about the stress. And yep, I wish Degrom the best.